This is an InfoBlips LLC podcast network production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the weekly wrap-up with John and Yancey. My name is John Haynes, and I'm here with my co-host, Yancey Seals.
How you doing, everybody? My name is Tom Tupperville today. And you know what? I refuse to vote for the military people. I ain't doing it.
Man.
Ain't doing it.
You ain't doing it, huh? You ain't having it, huh?
Until they do what I want them to.
That is horrible. It's horrible, the fact that we're allowing someone's, I guess, what they want to happen as far as the military not giving people time off to take care of a medical condition. Basically, that's what it is. And he doesn't want to give them time off to deal with it because this happens to be an abortion or something he does not agree with. And he's holding up the military. How can we do that?
I have no idea, man. First of all, here's my real problem. My real problem is that for a person who never put on a pair of boots in his damn life, and who's going to make decisions for people who are career-minded people, who's monitoring our national security, who's taking care of us and keeping us safe, men or women, keeping us safe. You got this idiot who says, okay, if you don't do what we want to do as Republicans and stop abortions and any kind of medical health care procedures at all, we ain't going to vote for you. No more promotions. We're going to stop everything up. That's not right. I am so sorry. That is not right.
It's not right, but it's the game that the Republicans are playing, and that's what I think you said last week, that we're playing by the rules, by what we perceive as rules, but they don't have any rules, and these people are they don't care about our country. They don't care about the people the military people who are putting themselves in harm's way. They only care about political, and it basically they're talking about politicizing things. All that is politicizing our military, because if you don't do what the political party, the Republicans, want you to do, then you're not going to get voted in. And what happens if we come into if something happens? We can't tell the future. I think we said it last week. What happens if we become an emergency? All of a sudden, where do the rules go? How do they respond? How do the military respond?
The problem is that when a woman needs a procedure and you're in a state that does not have it's a non-abortion, they need to go someplace to have it done.
Yes.
Go someplace to have it done. And he says they're going to give them time to go get it done. They don't want to give them time. They don't need to do it. That's terrible.
That's terrible. And it's, my thing is, okay, whether it's an abortion, whether it's what happens if you have to have a kidney transplant and the specialist happens to be in another state? Okay. And so you say, hey, I got to get a good kidney transplant. I'm going to another state to get it done. Does he disagree with that too? It's a medical procedure.
Medical procedure is a medical procedure. And his thing is abortion medical procedure. That's what he's against.
But see, and I understand that, but what I'm saying to them, and having been in the medical, it's a medical procedure, period. Whether you agree with abortion or not, it doesn't matter whether I agree with abortion or not. It's the individuals. It is their prerogative. They talk about, oh, we don't want to live in China because it's a communist state. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what are you doing? Mm-hmm. That's not freedom for all. You're freedom for all as long as you go by what we tell you to go by. That's a communist or a regime, basically, an autocratic regime, basically, is what they're trying to put in place.
Here's my biggest thing. My biggest thing about this whole ordeal is this. They're keying in on the women's and their health and the things they need to make decisions for their families and themselves and everything. They're keying in on that. But they don't key in on the dick pills. Why not the dick pill? Why they got the dick pills flying all off on all kind of commercials? Nose all over the place. You stop that, you stop the other, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It's not. See, but you just said a very important part, that the politicians are interfering with individuals' decisions on what they want to do with their family, with their lives, whether or not they believe or agree with abortions. But you are putting yourself in the middle as a middleman. And every time I've been talking to a lot of people, like, oh, well, you want to live in a communist state. And I'm asking them, so what is a communist state? Well, they do, you have to do exactly what they tell you to do, or, or you go to jail. What is happening here with him right now? What is happening?
Right. Same thing.
It's the same thing.
January 6th. January 6th, same thing. The same bullshit that Trump is doing over at Mar-a-Lago, hiding documents, showing the people. That's pure communism. And communism. That's not a democratic society that does things like that.
You're right. That's not a democratic society. So with again, and I always said that the Republicans will blame you for what they're actually doing. Okay. And they're attempting to turn this into an autocratic state. Trump is getting ready to get indicted again, and they're adding to it's called a super special indictment or something like that, where basically it's obstruction of justice. That is a very serious charge. From what I understand, they have someone on the inside that told that his Neda, his guy, was supposed to travel with Trump, and Trump at the last minute said no. Go back to Mar-a-Lago, meet with the maintenance supervisor, and they want you guys to delete some footage from their security cameras.
You see, this dude is crooked, man.
I'm like,
he harped on Hillary Clinton for deleting files on a server. You remember?
Lock her up.
Yeah, that'll be the exact thing I'll play open court.
Yeah, for real, I would. Now he is according to and they have proof, firsthand proof that he said the guy said Neda, his personal assistant said, the boss wants you to delete this footage. What do we do now?
Yeah. Neda has got to be the dumbest person around. He's a low level. They put, and you know what's so funny about the whole ordeal? Funny about this is that they all were people of color.
Yeah, I know. Neda, man, I think, I don't know the guy. I don't know much about him, but it looks like to me that this cat is loyal to a fault, or he believes that Trump's going to get out and he's going to wind up at a very high level position somewhere. I
think that's his position. I think that's exactly what he's thinking. But I think the other portion of that, John, I think is because he says, "I'm a military guy. I'm a Marine. We don't go back and go against our word. However, if the idiot who you don't want to go against him, if he's doing some crooked shit, you don't get behind that kind of stuff. You don't. So that Marine
cannot
pouting that's pure bullshit.
You can't. Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, I'm down to being loyal. I'm down to being if you're in the military, you follow orders. I get that. But if it's illegal,
yeah,
I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, look, hold up. You need to get somebody else because I'm not going to jail for you. This cat is going to do if he gets convicted of this, he's going to spend the rest of his life behind bars. At
least 20 years of it. You know what? It's just that too many people nowadays even in the military, if we're taught to go by orders. We live by orders. However, you got to use a little common sense and I call it Kentucky windage. If it's a damn cricket, you say no, I can't do that. That's cricket. That's wrong. That's illegal. And you move on and you keep it moving. You don't just go ahead and do it and say, well, he told me, because you're stupid enough to do it. They're gonna pin that on you. You're an adult.
You're an adult and you make a conscious decision to do something that's illegal. You're going to pay the price for it, and you should. Yeah. So we're waiting now for that for the special counsel or for the grand jury. I heard that they were meeting today to rather come out and say that they're going to add this indictment add these charges onto Donald Trump's indictment. And we're still waiting for the January 6th one, whether or not they're going to indict him on that, which is something else that we're waiting for. And we're still waiting on, what is it, Florida?
Georgia?
Not Florida. Not Florida. Georgia. Yeah, Georgia. We're still waiting on that.
Yeah, and right now, as we speak, they are putting barriers up in front of the courthouse in Georgia. So because that is going to come down any minute now, or in a few days.
And if it comes down, we're going to jump on. We're going to see if we can do this live thing. We'll jump on if that comes down, because that's serious too. Not to say that the documents things is not serious, because it really is. But this Georgia thing, there is not a defense in the world. They got him on tape saying this. and what I just heard 3 or 4 days ago was that the part of the tape that we heard was just a part of it. It wasn't the whole thing. It wasn't the whole thing with him threatening them and anything. And I was like, he threatened them?
Hour and a half telephone call.
But again, see, and here's the thing that gets me about the United States. And when I'm saying that our system is broken, they're going to, we're allowing and Republicans are backing, some Republicans are backing an individual who is a criminal. It's not a doubt in your mind whether he's a criminal. He's on tape doing committing crimes. Okay. And if it was anybody else, he would be in prison. The January 6th thing, the people that did what he told them to do are now in prison. Okay. And then I don't understand how the Republicans or people are backing him, other than saying, well, they're just out to get him. Of course, they're out to get all criminals. If you're a criminal, the justice, that's their job. They're out to get you.
It's just a matter of time. You're a criminal.
But and so then, according to another thing that I heard, is that his Trump's team, his law team, went and met with the special prosecutor and said, hey, if you indict Trump on these charges for January 6th, it's going to do some irreparable harm to our country and could really ruin the whole entire country. And I'm thinking that sounds more like a threat than it really does some type of argument. The argument is like, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. The argument is not, well, if you indict him on it, that our people going to go crazy. I mean?
That's what Peter Navarro said. Peter Navarro said just a couple of days ago, if Trump gets indicted on, I'm not sure we're talking about Florida or the one in Mar-a-Lago, it's going to create a civil war between the reds and the blue, I guess. I say like this, can't get along, get it on.
Get it on. I've been saying it for the longest. Bring it. I've been saying it for the longest. Bring it. Okay. Because I know people are going to get mad at me for saying this. These people act like they're the only one that know how to defend themselves.
Right.
These people act like they're the only ones that buy arms. They're the only ones, right? Bring it.
Right.
You're gonna be surprised. You're gonna be very surprised.
Yeah, it's not necessary. We don't need to go through this, but if this is where you want to go, bring that on. And then, hey,
do I want violence? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's going to be terrible for our country, terrible for the people of our country. However, we cannot allow criminals to run the country because we're afraid that if we hold them accountable, it's going to ruin the country. That doesn't make sense. That's not an argument.
No sense at all. And it's just like you got Trump, who's crooked, and now you got Netanyahu, who's crooked. Trump wants to be another Netanyahu, and you know how I feel about Israel.
Netanyahu. Yeah, you know how I feel about Israel. Netanyahu just came out of the hospital. He had a heart attack, and they had to put a pacemaker in. And right before his vote, he's getting ready to ruin Israel. Because it's not just the Palestinians. There are other there are other people that live inside of Israel, Israelis that are saying, hey, we don't want this. because it's going to make it an autocracy. It's going to make it to where one person, right? One person or one ruling party is going to do it. They have full control. That's no longer a democracy. That's exactly what they're trying to do here in the United States. That's no longer a democracy.
And,
and go ahead, your question. Hello? Hello?
Hey,
are you there?
Anyway,
your question is what?
My question is this: who does Israel think that they can't share that land with the Palestinians? They're good people. They're not bad people. They want to live in peace and harmony. Also, they do.
I don't get that. I don't know why they can't share. And it's just a religious thing. I mean, that's all it basically is. And if you go back, see people that say that they believe in the Bible and all this kind of stuff, go back and figure out why these people are at odds with each other. It's two brothers. That's all it is. You know, a sibling rivalry, basically.
Yeah,
that's all it really is.
If you know your Bible, you know what that is. You know, Abram and them people. You know who it is.
You know, I mean. You can't, and now they're saying, well, and again, it's Israel. And to be really honest with you, be open with you, I could care less. Other than the fact that we're giving them $80 billion a year, I could care less.
You can stop that too. Especially if he gets that law passed where they become an autocracy, you need to stop sending them money.
Yeah, we need to stop sending them money. Point blank, we need to tell them, okay, you know what? You have an autocracy. We're done. Okay, you're not going to be a democracy. We're not going to send you all this money in aid, and which we can go down that rabbit hole. But my whole thing with that is that their people do not pay for college. They do not pay for healthcare, right? And they get rental assistance. They get all type of stuff, assistance for their residents, their citizens, and we are giving them $80 billion a year. And we don't get that here.
No.
Okay. That is why I'm very upset about that.
Yeah, you don't get that here. Sorry. You don't qualify.
You know, it's like, you know, I mean, you know, you don't. And then what they do give us here is when we can get down to Medicare thing is ridiculous. Even when you're retired, it's ridiculous. It is totally ridiculous. When you get to a certain point and they tell you, oh, you're in a donut hole, so now you got to pay for everything. It's just, it's horrible. You know that, and we pay for universal health care anyway. We really, really do. If you look at the numbers, and we should do a special on that, because I have an exhausted amount of material on that. We pay for it as it is already, you know, but they will not allow it because it's going to help people who cannot afford health care. There are a lot of people who have health care and can't afford procedures and can't afford the medicine and can't afford. So what happens? They wind up going to the emergency room. Okay. And then what happens? They can't pay the bill. So what happens? The hospital who has an emergency room winds up having to pay that bill. That is why these hospitals are in the red.
Well,
you know, I mean,
I'm in the same position. I have medical care through the Veterans Association, through the Veterans Affairs. And I have that, and I got to pay Medicare.
See,
I got that. Why do I need Medicare? I don't want Medicare. I already got it over here. Why do I got to have it here? I understand.
It's wrong.
You get on the program, it keeps the price low. I get that, but damn, man.
It's you know, basically, and you know, so I have Medicare because I'm retired. I'm also, before I got retired, they gave me disability, which basically is nothing because it rolls right into Medicare as you turn 66. Okay, so basically it doesn't really matter. And then what they give us, you know, you pay you pay your co-pays and stuff like that, but the medical care that they give you is really not full medical care. I mean, if you want to get special things done, like as you get older, there's certain things you have to get done, you have to pay for that. You know, it's not like, you know, oh, and as long as your doctor says, hey, you need that, it should be okay. Now, if I said, oh, I want a tummy tuck, yeah, well, you paying for that. And I agree with that. I need a chin job. You paying for that, you know. But if you need you know, some type of procedure because on your knees or on your back, and they say, oh, well, we're not paying for that. That's ridiculous. It's just totally ridiculous. But then again, that is where we are in America. But then we giving our money away, our tax dollars, to a place like Israel, where I worked with a doctor who was from Israel and who worked in Israel. They do not pay for that. Mm-hmm. They get sick, they go to the doctor, period. And they get whatever process they need to have done.
That's a shame. It's terrible.
And and then they tell me, well, but what we're paying them for, John, is the military. We're helping their military because they can't afford to protect themselves against all the people who want to, murder them, like, Iran and stuff. And I'm like, okay, well, perhaps if they wouldn't spend so much on their medical and on their tuition, perhaps they could take some of that and put it toward their military, expenditure. So that way we won't have to give them so much. Look what we're doing. We're taking our money. This is our tax dollars, and we're giving it to them to protect them while they're paying their people are getting paid to get the services that we don't get done in America. That is the thing that bothers me to the most.
Yeah. I'm just flabbergasted behind the whole medical thing, man. I think this is why so many Americans, and not including me, so many Americans, they just don't believe, don't buy into all these different programs, and they're so skittish about what people say. They don't trust politicians. I sure the hell don't, because they talk out.
No, I don't.
No. They say what they're going to do and get in some plan, don't damn do it. They turn around and do something different. That's why people don't like politicians.
And I agree with them. I mean, look what the Republicans just did with this. With the what is it? We're getting ready to go into another spending thing where we're going to close the government down because of spending. And I thought we resolved that, right? But they went back on their word. The Republicans went back on their word. Mm-hmm. There was an agreement. Everybody was great. They signed the agreement. Everything was wonderful. Now they're going back. Well, maybe not. We're going to add some certain things to this bill that we know that you guys are not going to agree upon. And it wasn't in the original agreement, but we're going to add that anyway. So they're going to have no other choice but then to argue the points. And so then we're going to go back to closing down the government again.
Marjorie Taylor Greene did that, and she did that, and the Freedom Caucus of the GOP Freedom Caucus over at the House got McCarthy ass inside of a damn room and said, "Look at here, chump. If you don't do what if you don't do what we tell you to do, we're gonna pull your ass out." Because all it takes is one person. He's set up. If one person don't want me out, they can put him out. And
let me ask you a question, man. This guy wanted this position so bad. Right, he wanted to be in charge so bad, but is he in charge really?
No, he's not. Not at all. Not at all. I mean, if you know what's right, and you did what was right, and you made an agreement with the president of the United States, and then all of a sudden the notorious Marjorie Taylor Greene gets in there and starts saying, "Hey, look, this is the way it's going to be." I mean, you're not in charge anymore. So why do you want the position again? I mean, it took 15 rounds to get your ass placed.
It's crazy. It is insane. And again, like I said, the system is broken. And I was doing some studying, and I do a lot of reading. Like again, I'm boring. I do a lot of reading and a lot of studying, and a question came up to me in my mind one night. My question said, "John, where did the United States get our government from? Back in 1776, where did they get the term like Senate? Where did they get the term like legislature? Where did they get the foundation of the United States government?" And I said, let me see. So I posted a question on Facebook that nobody answered, of course. Basically, it was Rome. All of this stuff, and some of the stuff that we have in the Constitution, came directly from the Roman Empire. Now, what happened to the Roman Empire?
It failed.
It failed. It fell and it failed, right? And this is exactly, you go back historically, this is exactly what's happening right now to the United States. It's exactly what's happening. The people of Rome got tired of it and allowed them to fail. And that's exactly what's happening here. I mean, I just don't understand, except for the fascists, the criminals are trying to take over, because they see an opening, and criminals do what criminals do. They want power, they want money, and that's what they're doing. You know, it's just when you look at things like that, man, it just blows my mind. When I thought about that, and I was like, why did I never thought about that before? You know, it's based on the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire fell. So what do you think is going to happen here? We're better than that? You know, it doesn't look like it. Don't look like it. And what do you think about Hunter Biden? Let's change channels for a minute. What do you think about Hunter Biden, man?
Well, first of all, if Hunter, let me say this right now, so people don't think I'm biased. If Hunter Biden broke the law, Hunter Biden need to go to jail. It's just that damn simple. If he broke the damn law, didn't pay his taxes like anybody else got to pay his taxes, and he didn't pay, he need to go to jail. Or unless he got a deal. If he got a deal, he got a deal. I don't know why Hunter Biden gets a deal and no one else gets a deal. Like
exactly
everybody else, but he got a deal. Hunter Biden don't have to pay and try to get some gun he had. He knows damn well he couldn't have a gun if he's a drug addict. He knows damn well he can't have a gun. He's an attorney. He knows.
He knows.
You got to pay for that. Hey, you did it. You wrong. Go to jail. Sorry.
Just like with the show back in the day. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
There you go.
You know,
don't try to tie him and Biden together. Don't do that.
I know. It's like, look, and they asked yesterday, will you pardon your son? And the speaker said, she didn't even stop. She went, no. You know, here's the thing. All right, now, I would be a hypocrite if I said, oh, we'll give Hunter Biden a break. No, you don't give him a break. First off, if the fool didn't pay the taxes, $1.2 million worth of taxes, he's an attorney. He knows he got to pay the taxes. You got caught. If you got caught, you pay. Okay, like you said, you know you're not supposed to have a gun because you're convicted or you are an admitted drug user. All right, then in that state, you can't have a weapon. Why do you have the weapon? Okay, so you were wrong on it. You pay the penalty for it. If the penalty is going to prison, then guess what? You got to go to prison. You know, I don't care who you are.
Learn to braid hair, motherfucker, but you got to go to jail.
You just go. I mean, and that's where people say, oh, well, you're just on Trump because it's Trump. No, if you change the name Trump and put Biden in there, I'd be doing the same thing. Yo, indict this fool and put him in prison. Okay, because it's about either we are a country of laws or we have anarchy, and then you rule, you rule by anarchy. You rule, like the way some of these other countries are being ruled by strongmen, people getting put in prison because you go against them. People getting dismissed, like in Russia, you go against Putin and you wind up missing. I mean, or they try to kill you or your family. I mean, come on, man. We have to really wake up. American people have to start taking charge of their government, taking charge of their lives, and quit sitting back waiting for these guys to do it for them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with anarchy for 200, please.
I'll take anarchy for 200. Thank you. And can I have that M60? And I need a couple of grenade launchers too.
Where we going, man? These people are nutso. I mean. Word, but they're missing something. They're a couple beans short of a goddamn burrito or something, man, of a plate.
I mean, look at what we're telling people that we're the best country in the world, which I'm doing another study about infrastructure. Dear God, I saw the infrastructure, some things in China, and then you look at the infrastructure here, and you're like, whoa. Not just China, around the world, we're the only major country that doesn't have a fast moving train, or I mean, all these other countries, all of them have these trains, and our trains are still falling off the track because we're using those Mattel Day. I'm like, come on, man, you use the what they call the magnetic rail system, but it costs more money, and the people that own the train companies don't want to pay the money. So they will keep letting stuff fall off into the ocean, and not the ocean, to our rivers, and poisoning us. People dying.
but they're called the third world. We're not. So
I know.
hey, let's switch subjects real quick. This
Yeah.
happened. We got a Republican senator and a Democratic senator. Mitch McConnell and Nancy and Feinstein.
Yep.
Feinstein is 40 years old. She got confused in the meeting yesterday. She was supposed to be voting, and she started giving a speech, and her aide said, "No, just say aye. Just say aye. Say aye." She said aye. She forgot. Mitch McConnell got in front of the cameras and froze. What the hell is going on, John?
See, I saw that, and I'm gonna tell you, man, when I saw, I do not like Mitch McConnell, like his politics. I don't know him personally, but when I saw that, I kind of felt sorry for the guy, because I saw in his eyes that he was lost. I've worked with patients that had dementia and people that get lost, and he was totally lost, man. He was like, "Why are y'all out here? Why am I up here? And what's going on?"
You're looking at me for
exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what, man? I keep saying this too. The people that they have as their seconds, these folks are no good, man. They are no good. When they saw that, when I saw it, I'm like going, okay, take him off, take him off, take him off. They're sitting there looking around the room. I'm like, what? That's when you walk up. That's all for today, folks. Thank you very much. We have an appointment meeting we have to get to, and you brush him off the stage. But
you have some more words for the people? No,
I know you got something else you want to say? I'm like, these folks, man, I don't understand the training that they go to.
Out of here. You're 86 years old, you're 90 years old. Go. Leave.
And they're talking about Biden. I mean, yes, it's time for you to go. It is time for you to get off the stage, allow somebody else to take their time, to take this. It's time to allow somebody else to do it. Mitch McConnell should not be where he is. Feinstein should be not where she is. It's pathetic. It is pathetic when you think about it and you look at around the world and you look at the strongest nation in the world, supposedly, right? And we have these type of people leading us. Can you imagine if you're sitting in another country going, yeah, here comes America, and you see Feinstein do that, and then you see what's his name do that, you see that, and he's looking at the camera like, yeah. I mean, come on, man. It makes you think.
Headlights. He was like a deer in headlights. He really was. I still believe, John, and I'll probably go to my grave saying this, that we should have no more the time. You should have time frames when people get out. And in other words, in Congress, you can spend no more than what the president does. But you know what? I'm willing to give you 4 more years over what the president does, because sometimes it takes a little time to get things moving. I'm gonna give you 4 more years as the president. In other words, you can't do no more than 12 years in Congress.
Yeah,
that is it.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. Why can't we have term limits?
Why
must these people be there for the rest of their lives?
Government workers, 25 years, your asses out. You are not going to 35, 40 years in the government, sitting up on your dead ass, getting paid, when there's other people out there who needs jobs, also who pay taxes. They need to get in there and get a job too.
And the thing is, go ahead.
Get them out. 25 years, you're done. Bye.
These younger people, the younger people have better thought patterns. The younger people are more in touch with what's happening in America. The younger people will be able to, they have different thought patterns than us older people who, I mean, our time is gone, man. 80 years, your time is gone. Sit back and watch things happen. If they ask you a question and you have an answer, be an advisor. But as far as you being the front person, that's over with. And we we have to look at term limits, man. I agree. 12 years is gracious. That we give them 12 years, like you said, it takes some time for laws to pass and stuff. But after that, it's time for you to sit back and go enjoy your grandkids and be with your wife or whoever, your significant other, and relax and watch things happen and maybe write a book or something like that. But it's not time for you to make laws and vote on things. But Dianne Feinstein didn't know what the hell. If you would have asked her, what did you just vote on? What? I mean, come on.
She has no idea. If you're a senator, more likely you're an attorney. When you finish your 12 years, go into law practice. Get your ass out. Go
Yeah.
do something else. But you can't do it here, though.
You get exactly, and that's something. That's why when I keep saying that our system is broken, we have to get some of these guardrails and for the people who are governing our country, and including the Supreme Court. I mean, we have to have guardrails for these people, man, because right now they're just there until they die. I mean, are they being accountable for whatever they do? Nope. They just there. They tell, like, just like Dianne Feinstein, they're just telling her vote yes on this, and she goes yes. I mean, come on, man.
If you don't, it's screwed up. Oh well.
In this time, it is time. That's why, I keep saying a convention, a constitutional convention, or another apparatus that allows us to change some of the system, the guardrails that we have on our systems, in order to keep it up, to make it more acceptable with the times in which we live. Our country cannot sustain, we will not be able to sustain this type of government forever. And I know that's what we all thought it was, this is it, but it's not. And I don't even know if they really thought it would last this long anyway. I mean, what did Benjamin Franklin say? They asked him, what do we have? He said, a republic, if you can keep it. Okay. Now, he even had doubts, can you keep it? Not Republicans, it's republic, just so y'all understand. But it's time for a change. It really is time for a change. And I don't know how we're going to do it. We can vote. One of the things I keep saying is that even if we don't have guardrails, younger people get involved, run for office, again, you're going to, people say, well, I'm not going to do that because if I do that, you get torn apart. You don't get that much money. I remember when I was going to run for office in Hawaii, it was going to cost me 45 grand to go, well, actually 60 grand to go for a job that made 30 grand a year. I mean, why? And there was a Senate. Why? Why do that? Other than the fact is that you're able to help your country or help your state for future. You have to have something that's bigger than yourself. And the way we run our country, we're capitalist, money over everything. We don't think that way. We really don't think that way. Most people are thinking, how much money can I get? And what do I have to do for it? How much money can I get? What do I have to do for it? Other than saying, hey, how can I help my country? What can I do in order to help? Just like John Kennedy said, ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. We lost that a long time ago.
That's been gone. As a matter of fact, they should stop teaching that shit in history books.
He said it. I was there when he said it, but it's gone. I mean, it is totally not even, people are asking now, how much money can I get out of Congress? I might get 30 grand, but then I'm going to get all this other money on the side. These guys that are in Congress get $176,000 a year base pay. That's base pay. Most of them, and I think there was the last I saw was 80% of them are multimillionaires. Okay. Off of 176 grand a year.
Senator gets 186,000 as a senator.
Okay. So even that, man, even, that's just their base pay. That's not the money they get from the lobbyists. That's not the money they're going to get from pharmaceutical companies that's telling them, hey, vote on this and we'll give you this. That's not what they get from all the other side perks that they get for being in office, which is illegal. That's the one thing I got mad at Obama for, because he said, I'm going to end lobbyism. We're going to end the lobbyists. We didn't end them. It increased it.
Yeah, you can't. How you going to end something? See, that's my problem with politicians. You're saying stuff that you can't do. You can't do that. There's no way you're going to do that. You want to do something smart? Get rid of them damn what do they call the presidential people who the votes? What's it called, John?
The Electoral College.
That you want to get rid of that?
Yeah. If you want to get rid of something, they're going to tell you that, well, that was made to help against slavery. It's like, okay, come on.
Where are they now? So that's gone. So get rid of that. Slavery's been abolished. supposedly, it's been abolished. Get rid of it. One vote, one person, and I don't give a fuck if it takes 6 months to goddamn count them. One vote, one person. Third
And
world
that's that.
Third world countries do it that way. They get a little dot. Oh, you voted? Here's your little dot.
Get your purple finger or whatever they have, purple thumb. I think they have with a purple thumb where you print it or where you voted. But we don't have that here.
But for the Senate and Congress, it's not electoral.
Yeah, I know. It's not. Which tells me, and it begs a question. The question that I ask people is, have we ever had a true democracy in the United States of America? Have we ever had a true democracy? Think about that. I can tell you that I don't think we ever had. I really don't. Anyway, so we're waiting for this thing to come down for on Trump again. And I hate for this guy. Oh, wait, man. There was a UFO. Did you see that? These former military officers had a meeting and a meeting in on the Hill talking about the UFO programs that the United States have spaceships supposedly, and have programs that we don't know about, but they do know about them, and that it's a part of national security, and that they're not talking about it. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, why would these guys risk their reputations to do this if it wasn't true? It's weird. The world is getting weird.
I'm just a firm believer in that there's some things that the public don't need to know. Something we don't need to know. There's some things.
Yeah.
You know that.
If there is, it would.
That's our problem. We feel like we need to know everything, and you don't need to know that.
And you really don't. And you know what? We really don't need to know everything. And even if we did know everything, we wouldn't know what to do with it or how to process it. People would go stark raving mad. Some people would go stark raving. We wouldn't know how to process it. And that's the problem. That's what we think. And so, yeah, there are some things. And then we don't need to know people want to know, well, what's our contingency plan against if we get attacked by so and so. You don't need to know. Just trust and believe we have one. You don't need to know where the silos are. You don't need to know where all of our, all the contingency. We don't need to know where all the missiles and stuff are. You don't need to know that. You really don't. And so that way when stuff happens, you can be surprised like everybody else. It's like our enemies, because if you know, then believe me, the enemies know. It's like someone said, the only way to keep a secret, if you had 3 people and you want to keep a secret, 2 of them got to be dead.
In other words, secret can't be kept. Now, if you go back on the East Coast, you go into Maryland, go to Virginia, you go in DC, there's all kind of missile batteries all over that damn place, and you see them. They're on top of the roofs. They're all over the damn place. You can see the missile batteries, but here in obviously in Virginia, in where I am,
Las Vegas,
got some in the desert somewhere. But yeah, I don't know where they are.
Oh, they have them out there in the desert. They surely do. I can tell you, I've never seen the ones in Las Vegas or in Nevada, but I have seen the ones in Hawaii. There's this place called Koli Pass. Koli means you're behind, and basically it's where the Japanese flew in to Oahu underneath the radar in order to attack Pearl Harbor. So I was given permission to drive through Koli Pass. And bro, there are so many freaking, I was like, what are all them big old round cement things? They're like, those, my friends, are silos. I'm like, are you kidding me? All over the damn hillside, man. Like the guy said, this is the Pacific Defense, bro. We are the first line, and I'm like, wow. I was happening to be with a military group and we went over there and I was like, man, couldn't take pictures or anything like that. And since it's been so long, I guess I can talk about it. But it was astonishing to me to see all of those. It was kind of eerie, to be honest with you, to see all these you're going through this pass and there's big mountains, and then you see all these white silos dotted all over the hillside, and then you see these big old antennas at the top of the hill, and you're like, whoa, what is all that? We are the defense for the Pacific Rim. If someone comes in, we stop them. And I'm like, oh, okay. But we don't need to know that. You see what I'm saying? Again.
No, what do you know it for? Why? Why do you know it? Shit.
Just trust and believe.
If you want to know it, go down to your local recruiting office, put your hand on and get you some boots and go on in the military, and you'll learn that.
Yeah. Get you a top secret clearance, and they'll give you everything you need to know. I mean, it's just really interesting in that, again, we don't, the people of the United States, I believe there's something that had a story, was a movie a long time ago with Tom Cruise. You can't handle the truth. And I believe it's true. We can't handle the truth. We really can't. Anyway, Cruise. Man. Yeah, Tom Cruise. You know what? People can say what they want about Tom. I like Tom Cruise. I think as an I don't know him personally, but as an action figure, and I like his movies. I look at movies for excitement. I do not look at them to be real, unless it's a documentary. And if it's a documentary, then yes, I look at it to be factual. If it's a movie, I want to be excited. I want to go, ooh, I want to see something crazy. Okay. And that's what his movies does. And one of the things I respect about him is that for the most part, he does his own stunts. Okay. And you see some of that stuff, you're going like, man, but I saw a special, so for the most part, and he never brings it up. You never hear him say, I do my own stunts. I don't have a stunt man, but he does his own stunts, which is not all of them, but the majority of them. And that's what he puts himself in harm's way. That's dangerous. But I like films like that. I do. I like films like that.
What do you think about Tony James, who had a heart attack while practicing, LeBron's son?
Wow. First off, my prayers go out to Ronnie James. I think, that was any young man or young person that has a career and they're going after the career and they're stopped by a health episode, I have compassion for. I mean, yeah. I don't know why he had the heart attack. I don't know what it was, but whatever it is, LeBron has the money, take care of this kid and don't be trying to push him into do something that's gonna harm him. I think my thing is like that he gets well. I really wish him well, and I hope they do get well. I hope he gets well.
Yeah, that was a scary moment because his heart actually stopped on him. They say, I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I'm not even gonna try to. But that was
I listened to the call. There was a 911 call. He was not responsive. He was done. If it had not been for the athletic medicals in the athletic department there that actually brought him back, he may have not made it. Which is another. I want to talk about that too, because my granddaughter plays basketball, and there was one of the girls got hurt, and I'm like, well, where's the medics? We don't have one. I'm like, you what? There should be a medic at every freaking ball game that any one of these kids play. There should be someone there. I don't care if it's a school nurse. School nurses are medical people. I don't care who they are, but they need to be there at every freaking ball game, because if one of these kids get hurt, you need to have people that knows what to do. Yeah, there's some of us who know CPR, but you need to have someone that's there that your job is to make sure that you take care of these players. And I was like, when I'm like, well, where's the medic person? They're like, well, the medic person's not here. I'm like, somebody get a wheelchair, like I'm there and they're trying to take charge. I'm like, that ain't my job. And nowadays, if you do the wrong thing, you get sued. So I'm like, yeah. Anyway, that was my rant. Sorry, my rant.
Yeah, so my heart goes out to them. It really does, man. It's for a child, you're a child to be like that. It's terrible thing. So.
Yeah, and he had. I'm not saying it's over, but he had, a very promising future. Just like the other guy that had the heart attack that was playing football. I mean, that would be kind of hard for me to get back on the football and get hit again.
Clear about his doctors and everybody, so he's going back out. So I wish the best for the Boney James as well. So
Yeah, I wish the best for him, and my prayers go out to him and his family, making the correct decision for this kid. That surprised me. I could not believe that when I saw it. I was like, wow, Bronny James, really? Are you serious? I had to read that 3 times. I'm like, well, are you serious? Then I had to check it. I'm like, okay, come on. So I started checking and checking. After about 4 times, I was like, yeah, I guess it did happen, because you do have to have verifiable factual information. When these things pop up on your feed, you can't take them as the gospel truth. You really have to research.
With the inclusion of AI, you can't, because you're not sure if I'm real or not. I could be an AI. You never can tell.
That is true. That is so true. Even in, man, AI is so advanced now that you really have to be able to first off, just stories, you got to check. You got to check all of the information that you get. You got to check it 3, 4, 5 different places to make sure that it's factual. As far as AI and the faces are concerned, they can morph anybody into anything they want. They can make the voices come out different any way they want, which is very dangerous. I think that an up and coming, and we should look, I was going to look at that, I told my son-in-law today, an up and coming area of interest is AI detection, is whether or not it's AI or if it's real. There are ways you can tell. There definitely are ways you can tell because they have markers. But we have to put guardrails on this. That's one thing I do agree with Elon Musk. We need to have guardrails on this AI stuff, because they could do whatever they want, and we would never know. Well, by the time we found out, like if say, for instance, God forbid, you have one of these world leaders get on there and say, we are now attacking the United States or whatever, and the United States says, what? And all of a sudden we shoot off all our stuff because we want to protect, and then you find out it wasn't true.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, sorry.
It's sorry. It's too late. It's too late. And see, that's what I tell. It's like when I teach my grandkids, teach them how to shoot. Like, you pull this trigger, there's no sorry. There's no reset. There's no you taking it back. Okay. Once you do that, it's done. So if you aim this at someone and you pull the trigger, they're going to die. You cannot say, I'm sorry, oh, reset. And I'm talking about the older ones, not the younger ones. But you have to understand. They have to understand that. There's no sorry.
Right, you're right.
You shoot off a nuclear weapon, there's no oops, we made a mistake, because that's going to set off a chain of events that can't nobody stop.
You're right, 100%. You're right. So yeah, you're right.
Anyway, man, I think that's it for right now that I have. I don't have anything else other than the fact that if Trump gets indicted again in either one of these, Yancey told us we can go on. We're gonna attempt to go on live on Facebook.
Live.
I have my druthers about Facebook, but we're gonna go on live to see whether or not we're gonna actually have the information out there. I'm looking at how to do it, and we'll try. It might be messed up, but we're still gonna try it. Especially if this guy gets indicted, especially if he gets indicted from Georgia. Because I definitely want that to come down. And then we'll let you guys know. Again, verifiable factual information. You know it here. If you hear it here, we've already investigated it. It's verifiable factual information that I tell you is verifiable factual information. Because my boy Yancey, I love him. But as he will tell you, he will say whatever comes to his mind. And it makes the show interesting. I love that too, because it makes it really, really interesting. Anyway, guys, say again.
I'm being like the Republicans. I'll say it first.
Say it first. We don't care. Just say it, and then all of a sudden, what? You'd be like Marjorie Taylor Greene, just say it. Right. Anyway, guys, listen, that's it for us right now. If you are in the areas where it's humid and hot, listen, it's nothing new, but you do need to take care. If you're out in the sun, get hydrated, drink water. That's the take breaks, take off breaks often. But look, it's not, you're not going to, I mean, all this, do people die? Yes, they do, because they don't listen, especially out there in Vegas when they're down there, Vegas, baby. And I was running a clinic about 2 miles away from the strip. And every day we had to go in and have these people hydrated because they're out there, Vegas, baby, drinking and walking down the strip. And then they wound up passing out, being dehydrated and dying from alcohol poisoning. So please don't do that. Please.
Alcohol is not is not water. Okay, you can't hydrate yourself with alcohol.
Listen, it's like one of the doctors told me. He said, and I asked him because there was a lot of them was coming in. I said, well, how do we stop this? He said, it's very simple, but people don't listen. You have a drink. If you have an 8-ounce drink, you drink an 8-ounce glass of water before you have your other drink. You have a drink, then you drink another 8-ounce glass of water. You have a beer, you drink a 12-ounce glass of water. And then that way you won't get dehydrated and you won't wind up in the hospital. And so, and even I think Crown Royal started that. They have during the football season, they have I forgot it, where you drink the water instead of drinking the alcohol. I mean, that's what you should do. That's information. Don't just sit there and drink and think, okay, everything is all right. You go outside, it's 110 degrees and pass out and wind up in one of our emergency rooms. Anyway, so listen, man, that's all I got for right now. And we'll be back next week. And I appreciate each and every one of you. You guys, a
special report. Well, it will be next week, special report. If Trump gets indicted, we're coming on with a special report.
Yeah, if Trump gets indicted, we will be. If Trump gets indicted in the next 10 minutes, we'll be back. Okay, because I definitely want that to be on. I have to be on for that because I'm like, you know what? And y'all still gonna vote for this fool? Anyway, other than that, we will see you guys next week with the weekly wrap up. Take care of each other and be careful out there. It is hot and it is dangerous and it can be deadly. All right. Take care of each other, you guys. We talk to you next week. Peace.